In the peaceful town of Bend, Oregon, on a crisp autumn day in 1997, the quiet was shattered by the discovery of a young woman's lifeless body. 23-year-old Rachel Burkhardt was full of life, a devoted sonographer with dreams of starting her own family, a loving daughter, and a friend to many. But what should have been her bright future was snuffed out, leaving behind a haunting mystery that remains unsolved decades later. Rachel had been missing for nearly a week. Her family reported her disappearance after she failed to return home from her routine trip to visit friends in nearby Redmond. As the days of searching turned into a desperate hunt, hope began to fade. It wasn't until November 1st, the day before the annual Autumn Festival, that an off-duty police officer found her body in the nearby Cascade Mountains. The chilling sight ravaged the tight-knit community. It was a scene no one could brace themselves for. A vibrant spirit extinguished far too soon. Initial reports indicated the cause of death as homicide, but what followed was a painstaking investigation filled with disturbing details and heart-wrenching questions. Rachel's body showed signs that she had been attacked, but the specifics surrounding her death offered no clear answers. The case quickly ensnared investigators, creating a web of possibilities and unyielding frustration. Rachel's life had been an open book, yet the chapters leading to her death were shrouded in shadows. Family and friends described her as kind and dependable, someone who would never intentionally place herself in danger. But sometimes it's the darkness hidden behind friendly faces that can ensnare even the most cautious souls. Investigators began interviewing Rachel's acquaintances, looking for any hint of animosity, any potential suspect who could have crossed paths with her in the days leading up to her disappearance. In a community known for its stunning scenery and outdoor activities, one would think it could never be touched by such an evil act. Yet as the investigation progressed, it was revealed that Rachel had been known to have had a strained relationship with a previous boyfriend, a young man with a tumultuous reputation. Rather than finding closure, the probing into this aspect of her life seemed to open floodgates of confusion. Days turned into weeks as investigators tried to piece together the puzzle. Multiple witnesses came forward, claiming to have seen Rachel in the days leading up to her disappearance. One sighting placed her at a local bar, speaking animatedly to a group of friends. Yet others suggested she may have been in the company of unfamiliar men. Each new lead provided grim hope, a mantra of, "Maybe this time," that often ended in silence. Those who knew Rachel well debated whether she could have been unaware of the risk she might have been taking. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered more layers within Rachel's life that raised troubling questions. A week before her disappearance, she had received several eerie phone calls from a blocked number. Friends reported that she seemed distressed, but brushed off her worries as mere annoyance. What she referred to as prank calls morphed into a chilling whisper of something much darker, a harbinger of the fate that would soon befall her. The investigation uncovered nothing concrete, and soon a thought emerged. Was Rachel a victim of someone hunting indiscriminately? The idea rapidly gained traction as one lead faded into the next. Investigators couldn't definitively pin the evidence they had on one person, and the erratic behavior surrounding Rachel's life made it hard to piece her story together. As they battled against time and the mounting pressure from the community, the case grew colder. The news cycle turned. Other stories grabbed the headlines, but Rachel's family refused to walk away. Her mother, devoted and fearlessly persistent, started the Justice for Rachel campaign. Flyers were plastered across community boards to keep her memory alive. Families gathered, vigils were held, and, slowly but surely, Rachel became a symbol of lost potential and an unsolved nightmare for those left behind. Amidst the stagnation, the detectives clung to hope. They reopened the case multiple times, re-examining old leads with fresh eyes, examining forensic evidence to unearth anything overlooked. The calls that Rachel reported were subjected to more advanced technology, where they were met with the stark truth: an unidentified number was still untraceable. As fresh eyes looked at the 5-year-old case, old witnesses were brought back into the fold, allowing for a second chance. But the re-emergence of tantalizing possibilities only provided an echo of loss. In 2000, a partial fingerprint found on a beer bottle at the scene became the focal point of renewed hope. Though it matched no known suspects, it hinted that Rachel had likely spent time with someone who wasn't among her established circles. This led to the chilling understanding that her assailant wasn't known to her, ramping up the suspicion that her death was the result of premeditated violence rather than a crime of passion. Investigators were left with the gut-wrenching realization her killer was still out there, potentially watching, lurking behind the shadows of a community that should have felt safe. Today, over 2 decades later, the Rachel Burkhart case remains officially unsolved. The signatures of time and failed justice hang heavy. Rachel's family continues to advocate for her memory, sharing her story in hopes of stirring any lingering whispers or memories that might yield new leads. As we close the chapter on Rachel's story, a haunting question lingers. How many more stories are there that only need the light of attention to break free from the shadows of silence? Like many unsolved cases, Rachel Burkhart's tragic ending reminds us to cherish the lives around us and to never take for granted a call for help, because sometimes the echoes of unanswered questions can be as haunting as the lives lost too soon.